My next patron question is from Lamont, who wants me to compare two live-action movies that showed how some of Hanna-Barbera's most popular characters met. Which is better, The Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas, or Scooby-Doo, The Mystery Begins? Both were considered prequels and used different casts from their original films. Both prequels even share the same director. There's certainly quite a bit in common with these movies, including, as Lamont said, both being directed by Brian Levant. But which one do I prefer? I'm actually going to pick Scooby-Doo, The Mystery Begins. Yes, the one made for television over the theatrical release. I think the main thing that somewhat helps The Mystery Begins is the interaction between the actors. I bought these as the younger versions of the Mystery Gang, with Hayley Kiyoko being especially good as Velma. Yes, I know this completely removes a pup named Scooby-Doo from the canon, but the movie has fun with showing how they met and eventually came together to solve a mystery. There's also quite a bit of imagination in some of the ideas presented, and the movie does not go overboard with references to the original show. Some pop up here and there, like presenting an origin story for Scooby Snacks and the nod to the mystery van, but the filmmakers seem mostly interested in faithfully translating the characters to live action. Where the movie falters slightly is that the mystery itself is not all that interesting. A lot of the movie consists of the gang wandering around, and they occasionally confront ghosts. The humor also falls short of being particularly funny, and something that struck me while watching The Mystery Begins is that Scooby-Doo does not do a whole lot. After he first meets Shaggy, he's then pushed aside to make way for the human characters. Maybe it's because this is a TV movie and the budget only allowed him to be on screen for a certain amount of time. But it's still odd, seeing as his name is in the title. But while I don't think Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins is all that good, I did vastly prefer it over the two theatrical Scooby-Doo movies that came before it, and I liked the chemistry between the young actors. The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas, meanwhile, represents a completely disappointing take on the modern Stone Age family. It's an odd film in many ways, as it was released 6 years after the first live-action Flintstones movie, and none of the actors returned to reprise their roles, which is probably the reason the studio went the prequel route. The Flintstones is not the best movie, but they at least got the casting of Fred, Barney, and Wilma right. Well, Viva Rock Vegas was spot on with Jane Krakowski as Betty, but I did not buy the other actors as the younger versions of their characters, with Mark Addy and Kristen Johnston not exhibiting the needed chemistry for Fred and Wilma, which is a problem when the movie is supposed to be about how they met and fell in love. The jokes don't work, mostly opting for tired slapstick gags and just resting on the rock puns. I know the Flintstones is famous for its rock puns, but the show did have more wit and cleverness than it's given credit for. Another strange choice was having Gazoo appear. I actually don't hate Gazoo in the cartoon, and it was not until several years later that I found out he was widely disliked and considered the point where the Flintstones started going downhill. However, considering that's been the general consensus of older fans for years, it's surprising he was included in Viva Rock Vegas, and to be honest, he does not add a whole lot anyway. It's not helped by the unsettling makeup they put on Alan Cummings' face. The rather lightweight plot is not all that entertaining and compelling, especially when they throw in the snooty millionaire who wants to break up Fred and Wilma. I like the Flintstones, so it's remarkable how little I care about anything that happens to the characters in this movie. The animatronics are pretty neat though, I'll give the movie that. And it's also sweet seeing William Hanna and Joseph Barbera's cameo at the end. Otherwise, there's very little in the Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas that works in my opinion. Now let me know whether you prefer Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins or the Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas, and thank you for your question, Lamont.